What if one melted chocolate bar changed the entire way the world eats? This is the story of a curious engineer who refused to ignore the obvious. Imagine reaching into your pocket one ordinary afternoon and finding your chocolate bar completely melted. Most people would just shrug it off, maybe blame the heat and toss it in the trash. But what if that one small sticky moment changed the way the entire world eats dinner? It was 1945, and the world was still reeling from the end of the Second World War. Across America, engineers were racing to improve the technology that had helped win the conflict: radar systems. One of those engineers was a man named Percy Spencer, a self-taught genius from Howland, Maine, who had never finished school but had an incredible knack for solving problems. He spent his days working with powerful magnetrons, the vacuum tubes that made radar possible. These devices generated something called microwaves, a type of energy that scientists were still trying to fully understand. One day, while Percy stood near an active magnetron, he noticed something strange. The chocolate bar in his pocket had completely melted. Now, most people would have just eaten the chocolate and moved on with their day. But Percy was not most people. He paused. He thought about what had just happened. The magnetron had been running and the air around it was warm. Could the energy from that tube have melted the chocolate? It was a wild idea. Some might have laughed at him for even considering it. But Percy decided to test it. He brought popcorn kernels back to the machine and stood nearby as it hummed to life. Within moments, the kernels started popping all over the place, flying around the room like tiny fireworks. The next day, he tried something even more dramatic. He placed a raw egg inside a tea kettle and pointed the magnetron at it. The egg exploded. Bits of shell and yolk went everywhere. His colleagues watched in disbelief. Some of them thought he was losing his mind, wasting company time and resources on what seemed like a silly kitchen experiment. But Percy saw something they did not. He realized that this invisible energy could cook food faster than any conventional oven without heating up the air around it. The heat was happening inside the food itself, caused by the microwaves making the molecules move faster. It was revolutionary. Percy went on to build a metal box that trapped the microwaves inside, creating the very first microwave oven. At first, these machines were huge, expensive, and complicated. Nothing like the sleek boxes sitting on kitchen counters today. But within just a few years, they became smaller, cheaper, and more practical. By the late 1960s, millions of homes across America had one. What started as a melted chocolate bar in an engineer's pocket had completely transformed how people prepare meals. The story is a powerful reminder that some of humanity's greatest inventions did not come from careful planning or long research. They came from someone paying attention to the unexpected. Percy did not set out to revolutionize kitchens. He simply noticed something odd and had the curiosity to ask why. And that raises a fascinating question. How many other world-changing discoveries started as someone's mistake? How many breakthroughs are waiting in the moments we usually ignore, the accidents we usually dismiss? Sometimes, the next big thing is hiding inside something as small and ordinary as a melted chocolate bar. Sometimes, the biggest discoveries come from the smallest accidents. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe and drop a comment below. I'll see you in the next one.